Lemuria, a synthesis of mystical traditions. In the tapestry of esoteric wisdom woven by the great mystics and theosophists of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, few legends burn as brightly as that of Lemuria, the lost continent of the third root race. This extraordinary synthesis emerges from the visionary works of Helena Blavatsky, Rudolf Steiner, Annie Besant, Charles Leadbeater, and James Churchward, each contributing threads to a magnificent cosmological narrative that spans millions of years and multiple planes of existence. According to Blavatsky's monumental secret doctrine, Lemuria represented the third great epoch of human evolution, following the ethereal Hyperborean and Polarian races. The continent itself stretched across vast portions of what is now the Indian and Pacific Oceans, encompassing territories from Madagascar to Easter Island, from the southern tip of India to the northern reaches of Australia. This landmass, Blavatsky revealed through her claimed access to the Akashic records, existed during the Mesozoic era when giant reptiles still roamed the earth and the very fabric of matter was less dense than in our current age. The Lemurians, as described in these theosophical revelations, were beings of extraordinary stature and capability. Standing 18 to 20 feet tall, they possessed a physical form that was still partially ethereal, able to interact with both material and astral planes simultaneously. Their most distinctive feature was a third eye located at the back of their heads, which served as their primary organ of spiritual perception and telepathic communication. This cyclopean eye, according to Steiner's anthroposophical insights, allowed them to perceive the life forces flowing through all organic matter and to communicate directly with the spiritual hierarchies that guided planetary evolution. Rudolf Steiner's clairvoyant investigations, detailed in his lectures on cosmic evolution, revealed that Lemurian civilization operated on principles fundamentally different from our intellectual age. Their consciousness was dreamy and instinctive, yet profoundly connected to cosmic rhythms and natural forces. They possessed an innate understanding of the creative word, the power of sound to shape matter and consciousness. Their cities, built from living stone that responded to vocal commands, grew organically like massive crystalline organisms pulsing with the heartbeat of the earth itself. Annie Besant and Charles Leadbeater, through their joint psychic researches documented in Man, Whence, How and Whither, provided detailed accounts of Lemurian daily life and spiritual practices. They described a society where reproduction was still a semi-divine act, where beings could consciously attract souls from higher planes to incarnate through their physical forms. The Lemurians lived in harmony with massive prehistoric animals, including the great dragons and pterodactyls, which served not as mere beasts, but as conscious allies in the grand work of planetary evolution. The spiritual technology of Lemuria, as revealed through these combined sources, operated through direct manipulation of life force and consciousness. Temples served as focal points for cosmic energy, their crystalline structures acting as massive resonators that could influence weather patterns, geological stability, and the spiritual evolution of entire populations. The priest-kings of Lemuria were in direct communication with the solar logos and the planetary hierarchy, receiving guidance for the proper administration of natural law and the gradual densification of human consciousness. The theosophical revelations described sophisticated Lemurian technologies that operated through spiritual principles rather than mechanical force. Their cities of living crystal were connected by streams of etheric energy that flowed along the Earth's magnetic grid. Transportation was achieved through vehicles that responded to consciousness itself, crafted from materials that existed partially in the physical realm and partially in higher dimensions, allowing them to move through air and water by following the planet's subtle energy currents. The downfall of Lemuria, consistently described across all these sources, resulted from the gradual materialization of consciousness that was necessary for human evolution. As the Lemurians developed individual will and personal desire, they began to lose their instinctive connection to cosmic harmony. This spiritual descent manifested physically as increasing volcanic activity and geological instability. The continent's destruction came through a series of catastrophic upheavals spanning thousands of years. with the final cataclysm occurring approximately 700,000 years ago, when vast portions of the landmass sank beneath the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Yet the legacy of Lemuria survived through multiple channels. According to these theosophical accounts, the most spiritually advanced Lemurians foresaw the coming destruction and established colonies in regions that would become ancient Egypt, India, and the Americas. They seeded future civilizations with fragments of their wisdom encoded in sacred symbols, architectural proportions, and mystery school teachings that would echo through the ages. The Lemurian influence allegedly persists in various indigenous traditions, particularly those of Polynesia, Australia, and the Americas, where shamanic practices still maintain contact with the elemental forces that the Lemurians once commanded. Hidden sanctuaries in places like Mount Shasta are said to house Lemurian masters who continue their work of planetary guidance, awaiting humanity's spiritual awakening to the higher truths they once embodied.